over 32 quadrillion.
It's a megalodon! Oh my.
It's no secret that BLOOKET has some very rare blooks. Like, there's some that are so rare that you cannot get them through normal means. That's how rare some of them are. Because if you're just a new player or someone who hasn't really messed around with the system much, if you thought epic or legendary was the rarest rarity invented in BLOOKET, you would not even be close. As there are some blooks where only 5 of a certain rarity exist. There's one where only 2 of a certain rarity exist, and you can't even get it via pack. There's also ones where you can have to get them through the contest of candy, or through a different event like Pokemon are cool. However, we're not looking for the rarest blook. We're looking for the rarest rarity of blook, which it might sound somewhat straightforward, but it's actually a bit more complicated than you may think. So I'm here to answer that question in this video. And to help us out, I put together this little table for us to fill out as we go through the video. And by the end of the video, you will be able to see the entire table filled with the rarest rarities in all of BLOOKET. So, let's narrow it down. Let's narrow down the more common rarities until all that's left is the true rarest rarity in all of BLOOKET. The first thing that comes to most people's minds when I talk about rarity in BLOOKET is probably the legendary tier. In which that's not an unreasonable thing to think about when I bring up rarity. Because legendary is still not easy to get, despite being at the top of this list of the most common rarities. Since the further we go throughout this video, the rarer the rarities will get. So, what makes legendary so ridiculous? There are only about 1 of them per pack, with the exception of the breakfast pack and aquatic pack. The aquatic pack has 2 legendaries, the baby shark and the megalodon, and the breakfast pack has 0 legendaries. Other than that, every single pack has at least 1 legendary. Now, legendaries typically have a drop rate of around 0.5. If they're more common, they can range from 0.5 to 1%, which is still ridiculously rare. That's still like around a 1 to 100 to 1 to 200 chance. And if you're looking at rarer ones like the King of Hearts or Megabot, you could potentially be opening packs that you got your 500 daily tokens on every day for approximately 2 weeks. Especially if you're an unlucky buffoon like me. You recently just got the King of Hearts, let's go. And also, the thing with legendaries is the rarest one is the one I mentioned earlier, the Megalodon. So let's just go ahead and put that on our table there. So that's the end of the section talking about legendaries. And now, with that out of the way, we can move on to the next one. To fully explain the next rarity, you remember the Megalodon from the rarest legendary? That is 0.2%. Now take the odds of getting a Megalodon and getting 4 of them. That would be 0.05% odds. That is ridiculously rare, and is around the median odds for pulling a Chroma, which is the next rarest rarity. Most of the time, Chromas are not obtainable via pack. Some of the base packs do have Chromas, but otherwise you mainly get the Chromas from playing seasonal exclusive packs, or just from buying them in the shop when the right time of season comes around. You need to get ridiculously lucky. The rarest Chroma to my knowledge is the Elf Sweater Snowman, which has a drop rate of 0.01%. So, there are some looks that have been added from new packs because BLOOKET's still being updated to this day. Now, take one of those new packs and make it so it's only available a month of the year. The seasonal packs are by far the most rare when it comes to timing your pack openings right, as you need to be around during the exact season it's themed around. And this only really counts for big holidays that are celebrated sort of worldwide. For example, Halloween and Christmas. And those are probably the two biggest ones, corresponding to the Spooky Pack and the Blizzard Pack. However, we can't exactly estimate an exact rarity or rarest blook for the table like we did before. But here's what we can do. We can put the rarest one I know of, which is the Ghost from the Spooky Pack. And it's around 8% of the year, so that's 100 divided by 12 is around 8.33%. So this kind of rarity is rare in a different way. Now, let's get on with the next section. It's hard to compete with a type of rarity like that. How could we possibly find something rarer? Well, take the past two rarities I've told you about. The Chroma and the seasonal ones, and combine them. As there are Chromas in the packs that are only available during a very exclusive time of the year. That's right, seasonal Chromas exist. And I am recording this after adding the Elf Sweater Snowman to the table, so, well, that's a bit awkward. But there is something we can do here. As of the time of recording this video, the Haunted Pumpkin is actually no longer available, and you cannot get it anymore. And so, with the Haunted Pumpkin has a drop percent chance of 0. And so we can put that in our table there. And that's the end of the seasonal exclusive Chroma section. And now, are you ready for what's next? There are two rarities that do not make the cut for the rarest, but they could be considered as honorable mentions before we get to the true bottom of the table. So, first up, there's the unique rarity. Only 2 of these have ever existed, the Wise Owl and the Wise Caterpillar. To my knowledge, both are now unobtainable. And the second rarity is the unobtainable. And the Sandwich, which was initially an unobtainable blook, was just added to the new lunch pack. But there's one more pack of completely unobtainable blooks. This pack is known as the Color Pack, and it just contains blocks of color. And I don't technically count this as a rarity, because, well, as the rarity mentions, they are completely unobtainable. But the thing with these honorable mentions is that they don't technically count as rarities, because it's hard to find something rarer than the seasonal exclusive Chromas. But with that being said, let's get to the very bottom of the table, to the rarest rarity in all of BLOOKET, the thing you are all here for. So, the rarest rarity in BLOOKET goes by the name of Mystical. These are limited time looks that you can only get from certain events. But not every single limited event look is a Mystical. For instance, the winners, or the top 5 or something of contest of candy one year, got the Pumpkinkin, which was a limited time and event. However, it was only a Chroma. So, what's the difference between just limited time blooks and a mystical? Well, I don't know, honestly. They're given to very specific people, and that can only win contests, or in the case of the Party Pig, are a part of a Discord server. Well, if mystical is technically the rarest rarity, even if it not being able to be gotten via pack, technically, mythical is the rarest. Well, that's everything. Everything from the quite well-known legendary to the unknown mythical. From everything from the king to the megalodon to the ghost and many others. There are actually a surprising amount of blooks for multiple rare rarities. But with that being said, BLOOKET has been officially wrapped up, but there's, depending on your definition of rarity, any one of them could be a rarest rarity. If your definition of rare is the rarest rarity you can have obtained by a pack, Chroma. Rarest rarity completely unique. Rarest rarity via event win, mystical. But for this video's sake, we're just going to say mystical is the rarest one. Alright, with that being done, thank you for watching, and I'm going to be launching something next video that's going to change the course of this channel forever. So make sure you're all tuned for that. And also, the next video I make will be explaining a concept that many people think is quite straightforward, but has some math behind it that's quite similar to packs and is also a luck factor in BLOOKET. Thanks for watching.